Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so when I landed on Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego in July of '99, one of the first things that they got into our heads to keep our attention all the time was a way for us to listen to the drill instructors, right? Are there any Marines in here, first off? Please? Outstanding. Except for 5. I always need at least one. Like, it just kind of helps me feed a little bit. But anyway, so one of the things the drill instructors do to get your attention and get you to listen is they scream out ears, right? When they scream out ears, then your response is open, right? So when I say ears, I just want you to say open, all right? Ears. Open. Ears. Open. Ears. Open. All right, sound off a little bit, all right? Ears. Open. Ears. Open. All right, so I'll be doing this throughout because I need your ears to be open, right? I need you to hear what I'm saying. I need you to listen. The next part is your eyes. I need you to focus on me, not what's in front of you, not your cell phone, not thinking about anything else. I need your eyeballs on me. So when I say eyeballs, you say click. Eyeballs. Click. Eyeballs. Click. Ears. Open. Ears. Open. All right, so that's how I'm going to keep your attention, okay, if my voice doesn't do it on its own. So, hopefully. By show of hands, who's aware of what the daily suicide rate is for military veterans and service members? What is it? 22. Right around 2022, right? So every couple of years, the VA comes out with new statistics, and it kind of keeps fluctuating a little bit, but we're chilling right around 20 to 22 over the last 10 years or so. On top of that, veterans and military service members make up only 7% of our nation's population, yet we account for 20% of the entire suicide rate. 1 in every 5 suicides in the entire country is a veteran or a service member. And you're not excluded from that as the Guard. Active duty, veterans, Guard, reserve, deployed, not deployed. As a veteran or as a service member, you are 1.5 to 2 times more likely than your civilian counterpart of your same demographic to commit suicide. Just by being you wearing this uniform doubles the potential that you are going to die by suicide. 70% of every suicide done by a military veteran or service member across the nation is done with a firearm. 80% right here in Arizona. These numbers make me sick every day. By show of hands, would you agree that we are at war with suicide? Yes or no? If we were to go to war with a physical enemy, there'd be a certain process that we would go through in order to make sure that we attack that enemy with the right information and with the right kind of enthusiasm, with the right kind of aggression that we needed to overcome that enemy, right? So would we not apply the same things to this? This is an enemy that you can't see, but it is an enemy that you are dealing with. Back in 2007, I sat in a closet with an H&K 45 USP pistol pointed to my head, and I was done. I was done with the nightmares. I was done with hurting my family. I was done with the memories. I was done with the anger. I was done with the alcohol. I was done with the depression and the guilt and the shame. I was done. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I saw no other way out of it. And so I walked into my closet, I sat down, I grabbed that gun, put it to my head, pulled back on the trigger, and my 1.5-year-old son in the room next to me let out the loudest scream that I had ever heard him scream before in my life. I don't know what prompted it, but he did it in that moment. And in that moment, I had just a little bit of clarity, just enough to where I understood that I was not who he needed me to be in that moment. I was not the father he needed. I was not the man that could be an example that he needed of who he should be when he grew up in that moment. But if I pulled that trigger, then I killed all potential of ever becoming the father and the man that he needed in his life. And so I put the gun down and I went to sleep. And I woke up and I went to work. And I said, okay, one more day. I'll go one more day. And then the next day I said, all right, one more day after that. And then the next day, one more day after that. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, and I don't know how I'm going to be that man that he needs. I don't know how I'm going to be successful. I don't know how this is going to become something that is great at some point in the future. I don't know how, but I have to. And having that Marine Corps military mentality of, I don't have to know exactly how I'm going to beat this enemy. I just know when I go into battle, I'm winning. I'm not losing. I don't retreat. I don't give up. I win. And when I realized I'm in this battle, Now I got to apply that. I gave this class to a bunch of Ukrainian Marines back in 2005 when I was deployed out there to try to help them. They're going through some process to become approved with NATO back in 2005. And I gave this class on military operations in urban terrain. And halfway through the class, one of the Ukrainian Marines stands up and he says, what do we do when the enemy overwhelms us and we have to retreat? How do we retreat? And I just stared at him. Why? How he would even have that thought? And I just looked at him and I said, you don't. You don't. That's not our plan here. You go in and you're going to win. You go in and at all costs, you destroy the enemy and you accomplish your mission. So when you're battling these thoughts of suicide, of depression, anger, shame, guilt, whatever it is, you are on mission to defeat that enemy. And by whatever means necessary, you need to do that. There was a veteran I was working with. His name was Joey. And I met this guy 3 days after he hanged himself. His dog was barking. His roommate came out, saw him outside, hanging from the rafters, cut him down, took him to the hospital. They saved his life. 3 days later, I'm having coffee with him. And as he's talking to me, he just says, do you have any idea what I'm even going through right now? Do you have any idea what I'm even experiencing right now? And I said, bro, give me a few minutes to share my story and talk to you a little bit, and we'll go from there. And so I shared my story with him. And by the time I was done, he said, all right, I'm in. Let's go. What do you need from me? What do you need me to do? I'll do it. Whatever it is you need, you tell me, and I'll go down that road. And he's been successful ever since then. Another veteran I spoke to on the phone, and he said, I wonder what the face is going to look like on my fiance, his ex-fiance, because she had just broken up with him. And he was angry, and he was bitter. And he said, I wonder what the look on her face is going to be when I kill myself. Not in the right mentality. He's not going to see that face. And so I said, bro, look at it this way. How about, what's the look on her face going to be if we go down the road to make you the best possible version of yourself that you can be, and you achieve a high level of success in your life, and you become everything that you were created to be, you fulfill this amazing plan and purpose in your life, and she gets to sit back and go, I could have been with him. What would be the look on her face then? You'll see that look. And he said, all right, let's go. Let's do that. And I said, cool, let's go. When you realize that you're in this battle and that there is a way through, that there is hope, you need to engage that aggressive military mentality to it. Every one of you in here has that. When I go speak at churches, football teams, corporate places, it's not like this. I can't speak like this as much as I can here. You get it. You're in this uniform. You get it. You know what war is. Whether you have been there or not, you know combat. You've been training. Whatever your job is, you're training for it. Understand that it's not just a physical battle that you're facing. Between me and every other veteran that I've worked with, some of the things that we find in common, one is that we have a ton in common about what we're struggling with. We all seem to have the same story. We all seem to have the same things that we're dealing with. Anger, lack of identity, lack of purpose, shame, guilt. These are all things that are going to find their way into your life. They just come in different ways. Mine came through combat. And then coming home and waking up screaming from nightmares. Others is going to come in a different way. The suicide rate is not high amongst combat veterans. Combat doesn't, it has no statistical impact on the numbers, combat veterans versus non-combat veterans, none. So whether you've been there or not, doesn't matter. One of the things that I do want you to understand, ears, is that your generation, your age group, your demographic has the highest rate of suicide of every single age demographic. Highest rate. The older veterans have the highest numbers because there's more of them. But in this room, the percentage of you that are at risk of completing suicide is well above any other age group and demographic of veterans and service members. Everyone you're sitting next to is somebody that you can impact. Anger is huge amongst us. It's huge. Mostly because we kind of need it for what we do, right? I wouldn't have been successful in Baghdad if I didn't harness some anger and some aggression when I went after that enemy. So yeah, it becomes a part of me. But how can you use that, right? For a while, I say, okay, I can't be angry anymore. I just have to try to be chill, try to be calm all the time. Things will start making me mad. If I can apply this anger into something else, you know what makes me mad? The fact that this enemy is trying to come and take my life. That when I wake up in the morning, that there is an enemy out there who's trying to tell me you'd be better off dead today. Who's trying to tell me you have no purpose in your life today. You don't get to come into my house and talk to me like that. That makes me mad. I can be angry then. When that enemy goes after my wife and starts speaking things into her head, that's my wife. I wouldn't let somebody off the street go to my wife and speak to her like that and disrespect her like that. Why am I going to let this enemy of suicide and depression attack my family? That makes me mad. You don't get to come into my family and into my house and attack my kids and my wife like that. This is my home. There will be peace in my home. And I will take authority over my home. And understand that you have that ability in your home, everywhere that you are, in your mind, that when you get these thoughts of suicide and depression and guilt and shame, that you have that ability to say, get out of my head. Get out of my home. Exercise the things that you have in order to take authority over that enemy and to kick him out and defeat him. And when he comes back, kick him out again. I love thinking about how there's this enemy out there, right? And he's being given an assignment on my life. And when that enemy gets up in the morning, he checks his email and goes, okay, what's my assignment today? And that assignment is go find Andrew Jones and take him off of his plan and purpose in life and go destroy him. And now when that enemy checks his email and looks at that, he goes, I'm going to call in today. I don't want to do that today. I don't want to deal with him today. That's the authority I have over my life. I don't deal with that anymore. I'm bold over that now. When I used to wake up in the morning and open my eyes and think that there was just this enemy there with a 50 cal just full of ammo of guilt and shame and depression. As soon as my eyes opened, it just, boom, just started laying into me before I even got out of bed. And now I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go about my day today. It hurts too much. I'm happy right here. I'm going to stay under my covers. And then I don't get to do anything. I don't get to impact life. I don't get to help people. At this point in my life, things have progressed so much. Like, my identity is so much different than what it used to be, right? Your identity is huge. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? When I looked in the mirror before, I saw a monster. I saw somebody who just hurt people around me. I saw somebody who just destroyed every situation I came a part of. That's what this is. Story of the scorpion and the frog. Anybody familiar with it? Yes. Scorpion's trying to get to the other side of a river, right? He wants to get to the other side. That's his goal. It's his purpose. He can't do it. He's a scorpion. So he sees a frog and says, hey, can I get a ride? And the frog says, no, man, you'll kill me. You'll sting me. Why would I do that? And the scorpion said, no, it'll benefit me to get over there. Why would I hurt you? And he said, okay, let's go. And halfway across the river, what happens? He stings him. And the frog said, what'd you do that for? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion's reply was, it's in my nature. It's just who I am. I couldn't help it. I am who I am. It's my nature. And I saw myself as that for so long and so deeply that I got a warning label tattooed on me for people to see, to understand that's who I am. Take caution when dealing with me, because even if it benefits me at some point in this relationship, I'm probably going to destroy everything. Now it's a reminder of who I was, not who I am. Now every day I look at myself in the mirror and I know who I am. For me, I know who I am. I know I'm a mighty warrior. I know I'm a child of God. I know I'm more than a conqueror. I'm a champion in my life. I've overcome things in my life that people are struggling with their entire lives, and I've been able to overcome it and help other people overcome it and serve as an example of how to do that. The state of Arizona saw it fit to put me in the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. A couple of years ago, didn't know what to do with my life after that because I thought that was the end of your life kind of thing, but it's all good. Wrote a best-selling book, have a successful family, been clean and sober for tons of years now. I don't even keep track anymore. I'm in my kids' life. They see me as an example, as a father, as somebody who they can look up to, somebody who they can learn from. I am not who I used to be. And who I used to be was somebody who every day wanted to die. I just wanted to die. Whether it was by my own hand or somebody else's, or I could just go to sleep and not wake up, that'd be fantastic. But please, by the end of this day, I just don't want to be here anymore. And now I go to bed every night upset because now I got to go to sleep because I'd rather be awake. I'd rather be here. I'd rather be living out my dream. I'd rather be going forward with all the things that bring purpose to me, that all the things that bring love and excitement and hope and joy into my life. I want to live that. I want to wake up and go about my day with that. That's my life now. It's possible to overcome those things. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what kind of enemy is coming at you, no matter what weapons that enemy is using against you, you can overcome that. And you have to understand that. On April 8th in 2003, our unit was doing a foot patrol through Baghdad. We were one of the first units in this particular area. It was during the initial shock and awe campaign of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And as we're walking through this particular part of eastern Baghdad called Saddam City, we're taking small arms fire. Trucks are coming by, doing drive-bys. We're taking rocket fire here and there. Nothing too crazy, nothing we can't handle. And then we get to our limit of advance, and there's a compound that's walled in that for some reason wasn't on our intel report. Go figure. Because intel's not intelligent. So we get there, and we see this compound. And I remember our company gunny was like trying to figure out what it was. And there was a local man walking around. He stopped him and he said, "What is that?" And he told him, he said, "It's the Iraqi Ministry of Defense." He goes, "But nobody's there. They abandoned it. Nobody's there. Don't worry." And he said, "Okay, if nobody's there, then I want you to walk into that compound, grab a piece of paper from a desk, and bring it back out to me." And the guy said, "Oh, no, it's okay." And he walked off. And within the next few minutes, we got ambushed by over 300 Fedayeen soldiers. The Fedayeen were our Saddam Special Forces. They were the ones closest to him. It was his son that actually trained them, who was crazier than he was. So we got ambushed by 300 Fedayeen soldiers. And we fought through the entire night. But in that battle, one of the things that I always held on to was that there was a moment where our platoon commander realized we're being overwhelmed, we're taking casualties, we're not in a good position right now, so I need to get on the radio and do what? Call for support. It was his training. His training told him, when the enemy overwhelms you, call for support. So he gets on the radio and he calls for mortars. They're in their own fight about a block down the road, a couple blocks. They can't help us out. We call for artillery. Artillery is not being approved into the urban environment at that time. So he calls for air support. Air support says, "All right, we got you, but we need you to hold your position till we get there because we got some other things that we're doing." They put us on hold, on standby. Okay. Hold your position. I'll never forget those 3 words that came over the radio when I was listening, and the platoon commander passed it down to us. Hold your position. Not give up. Not, we need to retreat. Hold. Where you're at, hold this position. And when you hold a position, does that mean you lay down your rifle and you just sit down and chill? You fight. There is still a fight going on. You are still being attacked. But hold that spot. Why? Because help's coming. Because there's a couple of jets coming with a couple of 1,000-pound bombs that's about to just drop hell on that enemy. Hold that spot. Help's on its way. And so we did. And they came. And it was the most beautiful sound I ever heard in my life. And those bombs destroyed that compound. And we were able to move forward and take that position throughout the night. Whatever you're going through, when that enemy comes at you, and it's small things, right? Your power bill is late, and you figure out how to do it. Okay, you just took some small arms fire. You dealt with it, suppressed it, good. Little things that you can handle, good. But there's going to come a time when that enemy comes at you in a way that you weren't expecting. There's going to come a time that that enemy comes at you, and you're going to find yourself possibly sitting in a closet with a .45 caliber pistol pointed to your head like I was. And you are being overwhelmed by an enemy. get on that phone and call for help. Don't be too proud. Don't think that you're going to be bothering somebody. All these dumb thoughts that go through our head when that happens. I'll be considered weak if I call for help. Only weak soldiers call the veterans hotline. No, it's your training. You were told when you are overwhelmed by the enemy, get on the horn and call for help. And when the person that you call doesn't answer, call the next one, call the next one, and the next one. Until you find somebody that says, hold your position, man, I'm on my way. I just need you to hold it. Don't do anything crazy. Hold your position. I'm coming. And if you're the person on the receiving end of that, the one that got the call, do everything you can to help your fellow soldier in that moment. So one of the things that I need you guys to understand before I get out of here today is that this battle is not all about you. The battle you're dealing with isn't just about you. The enemy that's attacking you has a bigger picture. He's tactical and strategic and knows that you are the person who down the road is going to be the one that saves his life. So I'm not going to go after him. I'm going after you. If I can take you out, then he'll just take himself out. Now both of you are gone. It's not just about you. There are other people in this battle with you, just like on the battlefield. When we were in Iraq, it was always, I'm fighting for the Marine next to me. I'm fighting for the Marine next to me. I'm here because the president told me to. The government sent me here, and I have an objective and a mission. But when it comes down to bullets going back and forth, I'm fighting for the Marine next to me. It's not about me. I will do everything I can to destroy this enemy while making sure the Marine next to me makes it out with me. We are at war with suicide. It's not just about you. There are others involved in this. One of the things that you're going to need to do when you leave here, there's somebody in your life, and someone's going to pop into your head when I say this. There's somebody in your life that you're going to need to forgive. Someone in your life that has done something wrong to you, whether they knew it or not, who have wronged you in some way, who have made you feel like you're a victim, who have made you feel like there was an injustice done in your life. There's somebody in your life that you're going to have to forgive. Because you're going to need to move forward, and you can't until that happens. The anger that we deal with comes because there was a wrong done to us, and we're angry about it. That's where the anger comes from. And that wrong was typically done by a person. Whether when you were a kid, whether now, or any time in between, that's where your anger is coming from. That's where your lack of identity of, am I really strong? Am I a mighty warrior? Am I a soldier? Am I a Marine? I don't know. That's coming because something happened in your life that's making you question that. And there's typically a person attached to that scenario. And you're going to have to forgive that person. They don't need to know it. So don't worry. I'm not telling you got to go get coffee with them. You don't need to send them flowers. You just need to do it. One of the people that I had to forgive in my life to move forward was me. One of the things that I held on to the most is on that day, April 8th, during that Battle of Baghdad, me and my Marines were on top of a building. We were assaultmen. That was my MOS. Fired rocket launchers, blew things up. Got to the top of a building. We're looking for the enemy. Everything quieted down. For some reason, there was nothing going on at that moment. And then out of nowhere, a rocket impacted the wall right in front of my face. Blew me back 10 feet, knocked me out, blew the Marines around me back. And when I woke up, another Marine was picking me up off the ground, and everybody was retreating off the building. I was mad. Where are we going? Why is everybody running? We stay here, we fight. Somebody, while I was out, determined that it was best if we relocated. Probably a better decision. For years, I was mad at whoever made that decision because I felt like that was wrong and we should have kept fighting because whoever fired that rocket at me, I was pissed. That's my job. I shoot rockets. You don't hit me with my own weapon. I was pissed. And I spent the rest of that battle trying to find him. I don't know if I did or not. Somebody paid for it. When I got home, I was mad at that person. He was better than me that day. He got me that day. If I ever find him, Lord help me. But a day came where I had to say, you know what? He was doing his job just like I was. I forgave him. That was easy. Then I had to forgive me. Because what did I do wrong up there? I put my Marines in danger. They almost died because I wasn't able to see where that came from. I wasn't able to see it before it came. Now my Marines almost died because of that. I couldn't forgive myself for that. I could realize God forgives me. Cool. My Marines forgave me. Cool. I can't forgive me. So I had to go through a process to forgive myself. And once that happened, things started moving forward real quick. So if it's you, then do it. Forgive you. The person on the other end of that forgiveness isn't the one benefiting from it. You are. So if it's somebody else, forgive them. Someone's on your mind. Forgive that person. Cool. Anybody have any questions? Somebody answer me. What's something that's holding you back from moving forward right now? There's something that you want to do. There's something that you want to achieve. There's something that, whether it's happiness in your home, whether it's a successful marriage, whether it's your kids listening to you, whether it's a new job, there's something that you're wanting to say, okay, I need to achieve this, but I just can't seem to do it. You don't need to tell me what it is unless you want to. But what's the thing that's holding you back from it? What's something that y'all are struggling with? Who's going to be brave and tell me? Go for it.
So, I've been in a similar situation before myself and have witnessed other people as well. I think for me, just thinking similarly, like you have your son in the other room. I have 4 daughters that depend on me.
Yeah.
They need both their mom and me. And I think also being super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to beat that animal. Didn't know what it was or how to do it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But I knew that I had been beaten, and I just couldn't stand the fact that I was about to drop.
Yeah.
And but it was difficult, and I've seen others go through it. But it was definitely worth it, and the fight never stopped.
Right. That's why I like you said, worth it. It's worth it, right? It's not easy. Not easy by any means. It's worth it. You keep getting up. That's awesome, man. That's motivating for sure. You're going to have people in your life like that. Your daughters, my sons. If you have kids, that's it. Like, if you don't have kids, you're going to have to find like some other why, right? Somebody. Everybody's got somebody in their life. You got that why you can pull on that you get up each day and say, okay, I keep moving forward because of this. Hold on to that. Don't let it beat you down. We're competitive by nature. Everybody wearing this uniform right now, you are competitive by nature. So when you get knocked down, you get back up. Okay, imagine like if you're in a fist fight, right? Actually, let's just go back to Rocky V. Who's seen Rocky V? I love Rocky, man. Rocky V wasn't the best one, but there's a great analogy in it, right? So he's actually street fighting Tommy the Machine Gun, right? His prodigy. He's street fighting him. One of the things that he tells him as he's training him is that you don't stop fighting till you hear the bell, right? It's not over till you hear the bell. And while they're fighting, Tommy gets the best of him because Rocky's old, and he beats him down, and he's bloody, and Rocky's on the ground, and Tommy turns around, starts to walk away, and then Rocky gets up, and he said, hey, Tommy, I didn't hear no bell. And he got back up, and he beat the crap out of him, right? Nothing messes with your enemy's mind more than when they think they've defeated you, and then you get back up and start fighting again. It is no different than in this mental war that we're in. When this enemy comes at you, and it thinks that I got him now. They're getting evicted. He's getting divorced. His mom died. All this stuff, like all these, I'm hitting him, and he just wants to die every day. I got him. And then you get up one morning and say, nope, today's going to be a great day. Let's go. And the enemy goes, what did I do wrong? And now he doubts himself. This is an enemy that you can that you can mess with like that. Because you take authority over your day. Be competitive. Keep standing. Keep getting up. So that's beautiful, man. Anybody else? What's holding you back? Tell me something that's holding you back. Nobody's got any obstacles? So.
I'd have to say personally for myself, I've been working on it a lot with myself and my wife, I guess, would be fear of the unknown.
Right.
I've been doing this Army stuff for so long, and I got out originally, and I got back in because I didn't know what to do with my life. And then when I met my wife, and we got married and everything, and she was working this job that she enjoyed, and I was still doing the Army stuff, kind of made a leap of faith, and she went back to school to finish her degree. This is a silly example, but like something that in life I was so afraid of her quitting her job and me being a sole proprietor, you know, because I have a daughter, and I just didn't want to fuck everything up. We just bought a house, and it's just like, you don't think about it when you're younger, but when you have all this stuff compiling in your life, when you get a little bit older, you're like, hey, there's so much riding on your shoulders.
Yeah.
She wanted to do it, and she was like, I'm so happy that you're letting me do this, and then it's like, oh, what if I can't make this bill, you know, and it's just like such a fear of the unknown, like I said, and then I took the leap of faith, and I've been doing it for 6 months, you know, everything's working out.
Yeah.
Working hard, so I don't know, like, I've always been one of those people that, I've always been impulsive, and she's not.
Yeah.
So it's you know, it's kind of counterintuitive sometimes, but, you know, I was like, yeah, do it, and the first month I was like, oh. I guess it's been better for me and her in our lives, like, she's happy doing what she's doing, you know, she's going to get her PhD and all this stuff, and, you know, I'm really happy for her and proud of her, and I'm continuing to move on myself, and then one of the next things I'm working on for myself is, like, another fear of the unknown is eventually getting out of the military myself again. I love it. I love the job. I love what I do here. And I love being, because I'm actually active duty for the Guard.
Right.
And it's fun. I love it. I love doing it. But I don't like selling the military short, but I feel like I hate saying this, but I feel like I'm worth more doing something else in my life for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
Sometimes you sit down, you know, and you're just like, I feel like I could be doing something
More. Yeah.
And it's been a challenge for me to try to start planning for myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, for you guys, if you're fearful of something and doing something, take the leap and do it. See how it works out. 'Cause you don't grow unless you try.
Yeah.
That's mine.
It's beautiful, man. Oh, fear of the unknown for sure. That's huge. Like, I feel like a lot of your story was like mine and my wife's story a lot. I'm impulsive. She's not. You know, she's trying to figure out what degree to continue on for in her, you know, in her graduate school and everything. And we're buying a house, and that took a while to agree on. You know, so for sure, like I'm all about go. Let's go. We'll figure it out. Like, throw the plane up in the sky. I'll figure out how to get it turned on and built before we hit the ground. You know, like that's who I am. And it has to go through 1,700 function checks before she's okay with the plane going down the runway. You know, and it's cool because then we can, you know, balance each other out. But yeah, that fear of the unknown is hard, man. And like, what's crazy is biologically, what happens to you when you're afraid is very similar to what happens when you're excited. So the same kind of feelings, the same kind of spikes and different things, it's all the same. And so one of the things that I've learned is like, whenever you're like, oh man, I'm afraid of what's going on, just tweak it. No, I'm excited. Right? And when you start saying that, it kind of shifts some things in your mind. You're able to move forward a little bit more. And just knowing that fear, man, that is one of the primary weapons of the enemy, right, that we're talking about, is fear. If I can make you afraid of what I know is supposed to be your purpose, then I keep you from it, right? And so one of the things I love learning about was with lions, right? I don't know if you guys have heard this analogy before, but when they hunt together, what they'll do is put the older, slower, like chubbier lions on one side, and they'll roar towards whatever they want. That way, the herd that the pack wants to attack goes a certain direction. But if that herd were to just go towards what they were afraid of, then they'd have a higher potential of surviving, right? So whatever is scaring you, whenever you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I'm afraid, all that is that weaker enemy who's trying to guide you into a different direction where there you're going to be overwhelmed. Go towards that fear. Go towards the fear. That's something that's just in your nature, wearing this uniform. Go towards that fear. When there's a sniper on the roof and he's trying to take you guys out, you go towards it. You don't run away. You go into that building, you go up and you find him and you kill him. Go towards the fear. That's beautiful, man. Anything else? Cool. I appreciate you guys' time. Real quick, I don't want it to end here, okay? if there's anything that you have that you want to talk about on the side, if you want to talk to me later, if you want to write it down or anything, ajimpacts.com. You can go there and you can get in touch with me. All right? I'm on social media, whatever. Ask Richard. He'll get you the info. If you need to talk to me, please reach out anytime. I don't care. Reach out anytime, please. All right? Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.